Welcome everyone. Welcome to Quaran-Toons, the podcast happening during the quarantine. If you guys didn't get that, that's why the name is that. I'm Steve.
I'm Ernie.
Welcome to our little show here. How you doing, Ernie?
Doing good, man. Thankfully, a lot of video game companies are like, you know what? Screw it. Sale. Everything's half off. Everything's $1 million off. Just all of our catalog just gone.
Companies being pretty generous right now.
Because they know that we'll just eat it all up, honestly.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of like games, deals, and stuff like that, right now they're doing like I don't know how to describe it, but like there's an Xbox app on Windows.
Yes.
And it's called Xbox. It's just called Xbox, but in parentheses it says beta.
Right.
And
That's
it's
how
Game
you get
Pass.
the Game Pass for your PC.
Yeah, it's Game Pass for PC. So a lot of games that are on Xbox you can play on PC. I think all of them actually, right? Or something like that?
No, it's a certain amount that are on here.
Okay.
That's why you always have to double check, because they have their regular Game Pass, which is like, at this point, I think it's close to 500 games or something like that. It's a lot.
Uh-huh.
And then you got your... They even have classic Xbox games on there.
Okay.
Like all the way back to, like, I don't know, Grabbed by the Ghoulies.
Like Knights of... Oh, I was going to say like Knights of the Old Republic or what?
Yeah, I bet you that's on there, honestly.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
But the PC one is Select, and it's only new games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I ended up getting that because I was like, yeah, it's a bunch of free games or a bunch of games you get with the subscription.
Mm-hmm.
And I need shit to play right now because, whatever. And they give you like a month of it free or something. It's very alluring,
Very.
So I got it, right?
Right.
This fucking service, this app thing is so wonky. I've had nothing but fucking problems with it. Okay, it's weird because I'll have like a few sessions in a row where it's just flawless. But then I'll get like two in a row where it's just like, this account does not have online, and I was like, my ass, what? Like, what do you mean I don't have online? Like, I'll start a game and it'll just be like, you can't log in because you don't have Xbox Live. I was like, what? What are these lies you're fucking telling me? I have Xbox Live. I paid for it. Like, what? What's
like
going
you're
on?
Showing your credit card statement to the computer. It's right here.
Yeah, me and John were trying to play Bleeding Edge. That game that me and Ernie played this game called Bleeding Edge. It's on there right now. It's exclusive to Xbox, I believe. But it's like this cool PvP game where like you're like it's like a third person action game. And
yeah,
it's kind of
it's along the lines of like the Devil May Cry, but you have more powers and things like that. Yeah, it's not a lot of combos, but it definitely more of that third person, hack and slash kind of thing.
When the game starts up, it actually says use a controller.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I play it on mouse and keyboard, but when you start it up, it's like, yeah, you should use a controller because this game, it auto aims for you. It's like, I guess in that sense, it is kind of like Devil May Cry because you can just target somebody and then just attack them.
Yeah. I was using a controller when we played. I switched over.
Yeah, I remember. Anyway, so that game was pretty fun, and I was like, I wanted my friend to try it out. We could not fucking connect. Both of us. It was like, yeah, you need to be online to play this game. And I was like, okay, we're online. We're both on. What the fuck is going on? We couldn't send invites. We couldn't see each other's status. It was like...
That happened when we first started it up.
Yeah.
We couldn't find our friend John.
This game is... This service is cool, but it needs some work. Like, I
think that's why they call it the beta.
Yeah, that's their safety word, because, oh boy.
Well, according to my last statement, I pay $60 a year for Xbox Live, which comes with the free games and the service and playing online and bullshit like that. But they gave me the PC extension for $1 a month, so it's effectively $12.
Yeah, that's how much it is for the first month, I think.
Oh, okay.
At least for me,
check
it
my
was.
Statement then. Because when I first got it, it was like the day it went live, I got it.
Yeah, there's like a special price for people that signed up early or something like that.
Yeah.
I forget
and so
what the
far,
actual...
it totally makes, because like I have the Master Chief Collection on here. There's a bunch of great stuff. This is how I've been playing Outer Worlds and like a bunch of games I wouldn't have tried because they're indie games, like Ori and the Will of the Wisps, all that kind of stuff. They have a bunch of cool stuff on here, honestly.
As far as like, if you need games to play multiplayer or single player or whatever, you need games to waste time and whatnot. When it works, it's fucking great because they have a lot of options on there. They even have they have Rare Replay on there, don't they, or something? Or
I think they have
maybe
some
it's not part
of
of the
games.
Game Pass.
I think they have some of the games.
Anyway, it's cool, and I think it's worth the money. Just like I said, it's like
totally
those few fucking times where it doesn't work, it just like makes me so angry.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
Here's another great thing is like this. There's a company I really love called Devolver. They're the effing best, honestly. They're just so good.
They're pumping out the hits.
They happen, and they're all small little like 2-3 hour games. But this one that just came out maybe a month ago was called Gato Robo. Well, I don't know how they want to say it. Okay. It was like $14 or something like that. I was like, like I know that's a 3 hour game. I don't know if I want to pay $14 for it.
3 hours?
Yeah, like 3 or 4 hours, depending on how fast you are. And it's a game that's built for speedrunning. I'll explain why. And then all of a sudden it popped up the next month. It was on Xbox Live. I was like, oh, I'll download this for sure. Small game, super small game. So imagine instead of being Samus Aran, you were a little cat in a spacesuit. That's what this game is. So you're just, and it has certain parts of the level that look very much like Super Metroid. Like the layout is exactly the same, but essentially it's the same kind of game. At the very bottom of the screen, there's a timer that just runs. As soon as you start going, the timer goes. Okay. So it's definitely built for speedrun, and you can beat the game. I'm sure for you, it'd only take like 3.5 hours, maybe 4, because you're pretty good at them old school shooters and everything. But man, is it fun! The music is very much in tune with Devolver, and it's just a lot of fun. Plus, they give you plenty. Cool. It's very cool. There's only a couple drawbacks. The one of them being that it's too short. Like I wish they added another hour to it, honestly. And there's a point of no return, which in all fairness they tell you, hey, you can't go back after this, so you better go get everything. But I still wish I could go back and get everything, because once you end it, they're like, start a new game. And the only other thing is that the whole game is in 2 tones, and that's it. So it basically looks like an old school Game Boy game.
I bought it. Yeah, it's like Downwell. There's another game called Downwell by them, and it's just it's just black and white.
Right, but along the way, what's really fun is that you can grab cartridges, and when you plug them in, they have different themes. So it's like, if a lot of you are too old to remember Super Game Boy, where you plug your Game Boy games into the Super Nintendo, and then it had little color schemes. Yeah. And those cartridges are effectively what that is. So there's like Mocha, there's Space, there's a bunch
it's the same one. It's the same with Downwell. That's funny.
Well, that's probably where they got it from, honestly.
Yeah, there's like a Game Boy one where it's like green and yellow, and then there's like there's everything.
Exactly. So, but honestly, this game has great sound effects. Like, it's weird to say that, but it falls somewhere between old school and new school sound. It's a little hard to describe, but this game was like made for like speedrunners, obviously, because it has the counter and it has like plenty of save spots that are like right before big bosses. But man, is it, if you're at all familiar with an old school like Super Metroid, or actually Metroid 2 specifically, this game is fucking phenomenal. It's worth like, after I played it, I was like, you know what? That was worth $14, honestly.
That's cool. I grabbed a lot of replayability, or what?
Oh, definitely, because you can beat the game pretty fast, right? But getting the 100% is definitely one of those things where if you knew it, you knew where they were ahead of time, you could grab them. You could grab everything in one full run.
Okay.
Yeah. Very good.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Me and my friend John have been playing Xbox Game Pass, as you heard.
By the way, this podcast is not sponsored by Xbox.
It's not.
Not
Definitely not, because their fucking Xbox app on Windows is not good. We've been playing Human Fall Flat, which is a game that came out like 2 years ago, I think. It's pretty old, and it's one of those games where it's like it's really fun, but it's also that kind of game where I think like it has an appeal to children because it's like very physics based, and the characters look all like they almost look like Roblox level of like detail, where there's like no textures or like.
You're speaking like it's Goat Simulator or something.
I mean, like it has those vibes of like an indie developer, you know.
Yeah.
But fuck, I love it. It is so fun. Like,
I just looked it up. It actually came out in December of last year.
Oh really? Okay. Okay. So it's like this is those types of games where like maybe normally I wouldn't go play it or seek it out, but one big thing that it has is that it's online co-op. So there's like puzzles that you have to complete. Like you have to. It's basically like a puzzle platformer. Like get from point A to B, but you have like physics and you have like blocks, or you have like the environment, and you can use that to do so. But when you play with more than one person, you can just break the rules, and it's really fun because it's that kind of game where like there's no invisible walls. You go wherever the fuck you want, you know? Like, and it's like that's the kind of thing that really hooks me when it's like when a game is like so fun and has like no rules. It's just like unlimited potential to be fun. So I've been having a lot of fun with it. I highly recommend it, especially if you already have the Xbox Game Pass.
That's both of these are on Xbox Game Pass. That's why I kept saying not endorsed by Xbox Live, but
yeah,
Jesus,
it's
they got some good they got some good co-op games right now.
It's up to 8 people too. So I was telling Ernie, I was like, we should.
Damn.
Yeah, I was telling Ernie we should just grab a mess of people and see how we can do some of these levels. It's the controls too are kind of like I want to say like they're deliberately hard to use. Because your guy is kind of like, it's like he's drunk because he's so ragdoll-y. And basically, like on mouse and keyboard, the left click and right click control your arms. So you hold right click and he'll grab with the right arm, and then left click with the other one.
Okay.
And it's difficult. Like there's a part where you have to row a boat, and it's just so fucking awkward to like. Yeah, it's hard to describe, but you have to control like every single limb in order to row that boat. And it's
You're making it sound like Quap. You guys remember that game with the runner that you got to move each like arm and your leg and everything? I don't know if you remember that game.
Oh, like no, I don't. But I remember.
I've seen people play this game, and if you guys have ever played New Super Mario Brothers with like the multiplayer,
yeah,
you understand that this could like 4 people in a game could turn into some real chaos.
Dude. It was Super Mario World, right? Super Mario World U, or what was it called?
I know there was one with kitty cats, but I'm talking about one that was side-scroller where you bubbled. And I think that was New Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, but in that game, I don't think you could jump on people's heads.
Really?
Yeah, what turned it into a fucking mess was that in Mario 3D World on Wii U, you guys could jump off of each other's heads. So all of you trying to land on one platform was just like, fuck. There was like no way that's happening. Yeah.
Everybody's like, just bubble, and we'll get you later.
But maybe it was. I don't know. Yeah, maybe Super Mario, New Super Mario Brothers was like that as well. I don't remember.
Either way, it was
I just remember when we played that game, our nephew was really small, and every time he would try to make a jump, he would get scared and he would just bubble instantly. He would like press the A button, and you turn into like a little bubble,
and you float back to the other ones.
Yeah, which effectively kills you if you're both like not.
If everybody's a bubble, you all lose.
Yeah,
effectively. And I think that's exactly what happened. Like he was gonna make it,
yeah.
But he bubbled at the last minute. We're like, we're already all bubbled. You just killed all of us.
But yeah, anyway, what else you been playing? Anything else? Anything good?
Yeah, no, I've been playing. Well, I started playing Borderlands 3, but I'm barely like in the second part of the world, so I don't want to go into that. But what I did play, because again they're having all these crazy sales.
Right.
This really great point and click adventure game called Kathy Rain, and it's a recent release. I believe it was last year.
Hold on, so I'm gonna just look it up because I you told me about this and
no, 4 years ago. Sorry, 4 years ago.
I don't know what it even looks like.
It looks like if you've ever played Day of the Tentacle, if you've ever played The Dig, Full Throttle, any of those old LucasArts games.
Oh, it's got like the scum graphics.
Dude, looks ripped. It looks like it was ripped right out of there. Honestly.
Oh, nice.
It's called Kathy Rain: A Detective Is Born. To be very clear. It was only about, I want to say it was maybe 6 hours in total. And this is coming from a guy.
That sounds long.
Yeah, but this is coming from a guy
who
played
did you get
a lot
stuck?
of those games.
How long did you get stuck on places though?
Okay, so understanding the game in the very beginning is probably the biggest hurdle you'll have in this, because in a lot of old school point and clicks, they used to have these charts at the bottom that say pick up, touch, move, open, and all these different prompts. This doesn't have that. This is more like if you click it, it either has options or it doesn't. So if you click something, Kathy will automatically say, oh, she calls herself Cat, whatever. She'll say, oh, that's a bucket. Nice. But there won't be an option to get it. So only certain things in the world can be inspected or opened or whatever. So knowing that, you kind of start to understand how the logic in this game works. The longest time I got stuck was I was playing the first day. And there's about it takes place over the course of 4 days, I believe. And I got stuck on the first day because I wasn't understanding the logic of the game. And I don't want to spoil anything because the game is so good, but once you learn that, it starts to go a lot faster. I stopped playing for 1 day and then came back to it the next day and finished it on the second day.
Okay.
But man, is it good, because first of all, the story is very well put together. The puzzles are hard enough where you're like, oh, once you figure it out, you're like, oh, so stupid. Of course you do that. You know what I mean? And one of the things I really like is the writing in it. It just sounds so old school cool.
Okay. Is there voice acting?
There's great voice acting. The voice acting is like, you have a grandma that you come and talk to all the time. And just to give you a little synopsis, Kathy Rain is like a college student, and she gets word that her grandfather died. So she goes back to the funeral, and then she finds out there are some mysterious circumstances about why he died. So you start investigating to see what happened. It starts out very small town funeral, maybe something's going on kind of thing. Voice acting is super on par, but she's very sarcastic, and she smokes, and she's like this outcast in a small town. It's really great, man. Honestly, I can't recommend the game enough, especially for people who are who miss the old kind of point and click puzzle games, because that's what this game is. It's just a series of great puzzles, and you're gonna be very into the story. It's great. Can't say I can't say it enough. It's really great.
Yeah. How'd you hear about this game?
It was on sale.
Okay.
And one of the, how you in Steam you can go into the explore titles.
Yeah.
I went into one of those and it said this game would be highly recommend. All your friends have recommended this game, and it was just this one. Oh, cool. And because I had it on my wish list, I saw when it came up I bought it for $3. I think right now it's back to its full price, which is $14. I want to say.
That's fine. I'll pay that. This game looks cool. I like it.
Yeah, it's part of a huge bundle from the same company, and I think I'm going to dive into a little bit more of those. Okay. But it's part of a huge bundle, so you might get 5 or 6 games for the price that you would pay for this one. So, maybe take a chance on them. But really cool. And if you got some time,
Oh. I'm actually kind of busy, you know. I got stuff to do, frankly. You know, I gotta go to the mall. Yeah, I gotta go get a haircut. You know.
Oh my gosh, you gotta go to the nail salon. You know, gotta do all these different things. What else have you been playing?
Anything? I haven't been playing much. Yeah.
Yeah, I you know, a lot of movies have been coming out for like Disney Plus and Hulu and all this stuff, and I heard Skywalker, The Rise of Skywalker is coming out next month.
Oh yeah,
right?
It is. It's coming out on May the 4th. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I didn't mean to say it like that.
Get it?
But May 4th.
The wife and I recently watched this old movie called not old like 1960s or 50s or anything. More like more recently. It's called The Lincoln Lawyer. And by the name, you think it has something like it's a period piece or some shit like that. It's not.
It's like the Lincoln Log.
It's a different type of movie. Okay. I remember seeing this movie, I remember seeing the commercials for it and everything, and I thought, I'm never going to see this because it stars Matthew McConaughey. I'm not a huge Matthew McConaughey fan. He's been in a lot of rom-coms, so he's not my...
What does he do that's... Yeah, I was going to say, what does he do that's actually good? He's in Dazed and Confused, right?
He's in Dazed and Confused.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in a lot of rom-coms. I can vouch for that. He was in a movie called Sahara.
Right.
But he's he's a heartthrob, so it's like that's what he does.
I want to say he's in Kate Hudson he's like in Kate Hudson movies, like more than one.
That one's called How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. And
okay, so just one.
No, I think he's in another one.
Gotta be
I wouldn't
more,
be surprised,
dude.
but that one's a personal favorite of my wife's.
He seems like that kind of guy that's just like he's just like shrugging. You know, like on the movie poster, he's just like shrugging.
in the one with Kate Hudson, where it's called How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, he's literally shrugging, looking at the camera, leaning back, and she's kind of like...
Oh, that's the one? That's the one I thought of, yeah.
Or maybe that one's called Failure to Launch. I can't think of it right now.
Oh, I thought that was Kate Hudson, too. It's probably not her then. Or whatever. He's just that kind of guy where he's just like he's so fucking mellow and carefree. Like this bitch just can't take it. She just hates him so much.
Okay, I got it wrong. So the Failure to Launch one I think is him too, but that's something else. But the one of How to Lose a Guy, he's literally in the same pose, but they're leaning up against each other. They're making like this triangle. And then it's exactly the kind of movie you think it is.
Sounds like gold. Sounds like comedy gold.
So you can see why when I saw a movie called The Lincoln Lawyer and he was in it, I'd think, oh, this is garbage. But I forget that he's actually a good actor because he was in another movie that you may or may not have heard of. It was called The Dallas Buyers Club.
Right.
Yeah, that was like, I don't know if it won an Academy Award, but I remember
Heath Ledger was in that one too, right?
No. I believe that was Jared Leto.
Jared Leto. What did I say?
You said Heath Ledger.
Sorry.
You're getting your Jokers mixed up.
All these Jokers, they get mixed up in my head.
Anyway.
You know what? Heath Ledger was in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Oh, boy. I'm getting all my wires crossed here.
It's just the jokes, man. It's just the jokes. So this movie's actually pretty cool because the reason he's called the Lincoln Lawyer, he plays the Lincoln Lawyer, is because he's such a busy lawyer that he just mostly operates out of his car, which is a Lincoln Cadillac or whatever.
Oh, I see.
Or not a Lincoln Cadillac. I don't know. I'm not sure what the car's make is, but it says Lincoln on it, so I
okay, gotcha.
But it's pretty cool because it's one of these movies. And again, I don't want to divulge too much because the movie it doesn't live and die by a twist in the movie or anything, but it's just like once you see it and you can rewatch it, you get more out of it if you watch it without any kind of primer, anything telling you what happens or anything. But it's one of these kind of thriller things where he takes a case and then the case that should be pretty cut and dry turns into something more.
Okay.
And the great thing about it is there's a lot of great people in it, including your boy from Breaking Bad's in it. If you've ever seen...
Which one?
What do you mean, which one? The main dude. Your boy from
Bryan
Malcolm
Cranston.
in the Middle. Bryan Cranston. There you go.
Bryan Cranston.
Cranston. There's the guy from Shameless. Shameless. That guy's in it.
Amy Winehouse?
Yes, Amy Winehouse.
Is that her name? What's her name?
Amy Winehouse?
Amy Schumer. Is that
No. That's Trainwreck or whatever. That's that one.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No, this is a series. This guy's like family that are terrible people. They're in it too. Like, there's a lot of great actors in it, including the guy from what's that movie? It's a movie with Sarah Michelle Gellar, and she's in school, and her and this guy like run the school. Crap, I can't think of it right now. I know some people are screaming at the TV, but crap, I had it for a second. Anyway,
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah, it's a big '90s movie. I'm like blanking on it right now, and I'm gonna hate myself because as soon as I think of it, I'm gonna kill myself. Anyway, but this has just a lot of great. It has a lot of great twists and turns in it. Like I said, it's not that there's one big twist in it or anything. It's just that it's one of those kind of. It's like a really great Law and Order. It's like a really great Law and Order episode where you're like, this is brilliant kind of thing, right? But it's shot like a Hollywood movie, so it's a great ride, and you won't be distracted by the fact that it's freaking Matthew McConaughey, because he doesn't do his regular McConaughey like romantic comedy crap. It's serious time for McConaughey. So, but when we watched it, we were having a lot of fun, and I actually came into it 10 minutes late, and I was like, Matthew McConaughey. And she's like, yeah, it's called Lincoln Lawyer. I was like, you know what? I remember this movie doing pretty well, so I sat down and watched it. Honestly,
I feel like that happens a lot where like, because like Jared Leto was in Dallas Buyers Club, and I hear that he's really good in it.
He almost won an Oscar for it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and it's just like one of those movies that like nobody fucking remembers apparently, or like nobody seems to bring that up when they talk about how like he plays the Joker and he's like cringy as the Joker, you know, or like.
Well, because you're only as good as your last. What do they say in Hollywood? You're only good as your last project.
Yeah. I guess so, huh?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's that true now, but I know that it used to be a very. It's called Cruel Intentions. God damn it! I just figured it out.
Thanks.
The guy from Cruel Intentions is in this movie. That's the
also good. Okay.
He's really good in it. Like cool. In Cruel Intentions, he just plays some good-looking kid. In this one, he's the defendant in this one, and he's really good. It's phenomenal, honestly. But yeah, a lot of people say that like you're only as good as your last job, kind of thing, because once you make a stinker, sometimes it's hard to come back from that. You know.
What was Sarah Michelle Gellar's last movie?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Let's see. I didn't know she was married to Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah, like my wife recently told me that because when that came up, when we were watching the movie, I was like, "Isn't that the guy from Cruel Intentions?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, that movie with Sarah Michelle Gellar." And she's like, "Did you know that Sarah Michelle Gellar?" Just becomes like a game of like phone tag or something, just because you're that.
Well, apparently she's in Star Wars Rebel. So.
Yeah, as a voice actress, I believe, right?
Hold on, let me just.
Rebels is the cartoon, right?
It's the 3D one, yeah. It's supposed to.
Gotcha.
That's the one that comes after Clone Wars, I believe.
Oh boy, Frank.
Yeah, Clone Wars is. Clone Wars is ending right now, or it ended, or something.
Probably.
And I fucking completely forgot to catch up on it. But Disney Plus has. Okay, yeah, go for it.
According to IMDb, she was on Rebels from 2015 to 2016. It has a character called the Seventh Sister. But she was in a movie called Olay, the Killer Skin. Nice. I think it was sponsored by Oil of Olay. And then the last big time she was on screen, it says she played herself on The Big Bang Theory last year.
Wow. Well, I mean,
I don't think she's acting much now.
I don't even know how to feel about that, because it's like that show's successful, so like
Oh yeah.
Like it's not good, but it's successful. So she probably got a lot of money for that, or maybe not. I don't know.
Well, I mean, and by the way, I mean this I knew off the bat. I didn't need this thing to tell me, but she plays a lot of different people on Robot Chicken. Because she was on... I know they do a lot of Scooby-Doo jokes, so every time they do Scooby-Doo, she plays Daphne.
Oh, okay. That's weird. She does voices, then?
Yeah, she's a lot... according to this, she's done a couple of different voice actors.
Star Wars Rebels, yeah.
Yeah. And, she's done a couple stints on The Simpsons and American Dad.
The voice acting gig sounds cushy, dude.
Doesn't
I feel like I would do that, yeah.
Start doing some voices, Steve.
All these Mad TV actors that go to do voice over stuff, I'm like, dude, they got it good. I would like you have that fame and you have that clout in Hollywood, but not everybody will recognize you on the street, kind of thing.
I love that.
Like fucking Phil Lamar, Alex Borstein, like Seth Green, like they all
Nicole
have
Sullivan.
Constant work. Yeah, Nicole Sullivan.
They all work on either American Dad or Family Guy. They all have jobs on that.
That's crazy.
And dude, I love it because like Phil Lamar is Samurai Jack.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's been Samurai Jack. He's been fucking Green Lantern. He's been so many different people.
But Seth Green, he's doing Robot Chicken and he does Family Guy at the same time. That dude's fucking. That dude's
but you can always
so well.
Here's the difference, right? You can always tell it's Seth Green. Always.
I didn't know. Well, you know him as Chris, right? But
yes.
If you didn't know that was Seth Green, he's unrecognizable because he doesn't sound like that.
I guess you're right.
He definitely does the voice. You know, it's like Breckenmeyer and Joseph on King of the Hill. It's like, that's him now because I said that, and maybe he'll do similar voices, but he sounds nothing like that, like...
It's just funny because that's the other person who's on Robot Chicken constantly.
Yeah, Breckenmeyer.
Yeah, he plays like Green Lantern a lot, or any number of superheroes.
Good guys, man. Dude, I have nothing but respect for Seth Green. He just seems like such a hard-working guy that's got ideas coming out the fucking... every orifice of his body.
And I like it because he just kind of surrounds himself with what I feel like are all his friends, because he was a writer in Hollywood for a long time.
He seems like a cool guy. I would hang out with Seth Green given the opportunity.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, it used to be fun because we used to work near Fuzzy Door. And for a couple months, I was able to go to Fuzzy Door and take part in some figure drawing classes. But I don't think that's where they would do all the voice acting. I think that was done in a separate building. But man, that place looked as fun as you think an animation place would look. It's crazy cool.
I never went in there, but I do remember that when I would go out for lunch, I would always see people with storyboards or see people with character model sheets, just out on their desk while they were working.
Or having lunch, right?
Yeah, and I was like, dude, say what you will about American Dad, I would fucking love to work on that show.
Oh, hell yeah.
That is so awesome to have on your portfolio, dude.
I remember, I don't know why it sticks out to me so much, but there was this really bad throwaway joke on Family Guy where Peter made some joke about this musical or movie called Starlight Express, and the whole joke was him on roller skates, dressed up like those people, just saying Starlight Express. That's the whole bit, is that he skates around, says it, and then he gets really angry for some reason and just starts screaming it at the audience. And I remember before it came out, I saw it. And the guy told me about the joke. He's just going to be saying Starlight Express while spinning around. And I was like, huh, okay. I mean, I'm sure it'll be funny.
You said, I'm sure you guys will make it funny.
It was I was a guest. Of course, I'm going to fucking laugh and say whatever, dude. But it's a cool place. And I feel like Seth MacFarlane, I'm not sure how much control he has of the whole place, but seems if... Steve, you can imagine, you remember what G4's desk spaces all look like. Just imagine that, but cranked up to 9. Or 10, 11. Just... toys everywhere. Any kind of reference to
awesome.
anything was everywhere. But yeah, it's a fun place. So I'm sure he kind of nurtures that kind of fun around him.
I'm sure Seth MacFarlane does nothing as far as writing or being part of it.
Not anymore. I don't think.
I'm going to tell you what I see as a trend in animation.
Okay.
People get into the animation business, making cartoons, and as soon as they can, they jump ship because nobody wants to animate. Not a single fucking person wants to animate. Like Walt Disney, he made those cartoons, but as soon as he could, he just built Disneyland. He was like, "Fuck this, I'm out of here. I'm on to my next creative hurdle." Seth MacFarlane, he did that thing for Cartoon Network with the guy and the talking dog. It was like this weird like short cartoon.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he did that when he was like 18, dude. At like his most ambitious, and then he's like, "Fuck this! I wanna do crappy movies and sing." He sings well. Don't get me wrong, he sings very well, but movies, whatever. But yeah, I mean Aaron from Game Grumps as well. I mean, no offense to him, but it's like
well, he doesn't need to animate anymore.
As soon as he could do something else, you're just like, fuck this. It. Yeah.
There's only a few animators on YouTube that I feel like genuinely enjoy animating and get the respect that they deserve. I think Harry Partridge is one of them.
Harry Partridge, Happy Harry is a fucking machine, dude. I have no idea how, and he manages to call himself lazy at every opportunity he gets, and yet he is the least lazy person I've ever I can ever think of, dude. The amount of stuff that he puts out with the quality to match is just ridiculous.
Isn't it? I'm always in awe of the amount of work he does. Because first of all, when he first started, I heard that he did all of his stuff by hand at first and scanned it all in.
Is that true? I didn't know that. Okay.
I heard that. But maybe I'm not completely accurate on that, but I remember that. But then, the more he did, I was like, man, these Skyrim videos are fucking amazing.
I know. Some of his early stuff, too, that he's just like, oh, man, this is dog shit. I was like, dude, none of my stuff looks as good as this. Like,
the guy's brilliant, man.
That guy's a fucking beast, dude. That guy's insane. He's doing this show right now.
Yeah.
Called Shot Blast, where he goes over a certain shot that he's animating, and that alone can tell you, it can show you how much work this guy puts in, because the shots that he ends up creating are like 4 to 5 seconds, and they take him like 2 days.
Wow.
With everything done, like shading, color, lighting, and in my cartoons I don't even do shading. Fuck shading. Like there's no.
Oh, it's insane, man.
Yeah,
it's insane.
And the way he does his backgrounds is like he does it a lot like Max G.
Yeah.
Where Max G will do like
3D
simple
background.
3D renders. Yeah, just to get the perspective and the angles correct. And then he goes and he paints over them in Photoshop and stuff. And I'm like, dude,
it's brilliant.
These guys, they're just fucking masters, dude. Like. Crazy.
There's another guy that I've been recently getting into. His art style is not exactly what I like, but his tag is worthy kids, worth I kids, but all smashed together. The guy's name is Ian, but man, you'd recognize him, Steve. He's the guy that did all the Dr. Steve Brule ones.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that's him, but he is constantly cranking out stuff. Like right before. 4 months ago, before Star Wars came out, he did a cartoon called Palpatine's Journey. He is working right now. I
saw that one, yeah.
But it's crazy because I thought, oh, this guy's like a 2D animator with a very specific type of drawing
style.
Yeah. But then I watched an episode. He did a video about Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where he does the Pepe Sylvia bit.
Oh, that's cool.
But within there, he did a bunch of 3D versions of Charlie that float around like balloons, and they're all in 3D, but they're in 3D and look like his drawings.
Oh, that's cool.
And then I started getting like, oh wait, this guy knows 3D, so I went to his Twitter, and he's working on 3D models to look like old school stop animation. like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So he's taking his 3D to that level. Like, it's crazy.
That's cool.
That film's coming out later on this year, but I'm like, I can't put pen to paper to just draw every day sometimes. I don't know how these people are cranking out cartoons. Because they're 2-minute cartoons, but you and I know how long 2 minutes can take in animation.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the way I do them, I tend to work pretty fast because I'm under the mentality where if this takes too long to come out, I'm never gonna do it. So.
And then halfway through, you've told me, you're like, then I stopped thinking it's funny.
Yeah, like you know how Miyamoto says like a rushed game is forever bad or whatever. Yeah. I'm the opposite. I'm like, whatever. Rushed is fine. That's fine for me. Rushed is okay. I don't really mind.
It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I'm not gonna say they don't have personality, these people, but like, I feel like that's why Aaron and like Seth MacFarlane and like Walt are able to jump ship like that, because they're like, how do you say it? They're like, they have charm to them, you know. People like them.
They have like other qualities that sell them aside from being an animator.
They can be like a personality. They can be like a front man to something, which like me for instance, I can't do that. Like I don't feel like I have that level of like, I don't even know what it is. If I knew what it was, you know, I'd be doing it, I guess. But
well, I know Walt that kind was more of level about his
like presence, that kind of big. Yeah. They're somehow businessmen underneath it all.
Yeah, I think Seth kind of shares that same thing, where he just knows how to sell something. He's very charming, great guy.
Yeah,
I think that's the kind of. And yeah, as soon as he could, he's like, "I'm not drawing this. You draw it."
Dude, a confident artist is a dime a dozen, as they say, but they're fucking a force to be reckoned with when they happen. But anyway, I have been watching stuff on Disney Plus. I watched Age of Ultron again, which is kind of like, I know, kind of a wet blanket. Some people don't give a shit about Marvel movies. I get that. But I remember when it came out, a lot of people were saying that it was like, I feel like that's the one that's kind of shit on out of all the Avengers movies, you know?
I don't understand why, honestly.
But I saw the first Avengers and I fell asleep. I wasn't like, I didn't hate it or anything, but I kind of feel like that one is the one I remember the most for some reason, you know?
Age of Ultron or Avengers?
No, Avengers 1. So out of all of them, that one was kind of like, I don't even really need to rewatch this. Like, I kind of saw it and it was like a one and done, for me at least. I don't know. Right. But Age of Ultron was almost like, dude, this is like a fucking whole new movie. I don't remember anything about this movie. So, as far as that goes, I was like, this is entertaining. It was great. I liked it. I mean, it was a bit long. It's kind of a shame that, like, Maximoff or what's his name? Pietro? Quicksilver? Yeah. They don't call him Quicksilver, and, like, they can't call him mutants and all this shit. Like,
they gotta work around that.
It's got all that kind of, like, stupid, you know, legal bullshit in it.
True.
There was like I heard there was actually some weird rules when it came to using Quicksilver. They were like, he can't join the Avengers, you can't call him a mutant, and then like something weird, like he has to die or something, or like something weird. So I was like, okay.
I think they only had the license to use that particular hero for a movie. I think you can only use it for one movie. Because if I remember correctly, that movie that you let me borrow, X-Men Days of Future Past, he's prominently in that movie. I think that might have come out around the same time. So maybe there was a competing thing there. I don't know.
People seem to like that guy better anyway, so it's not like there's any competition there.
I'm sure there were rules about how long he could be on screen, too.
Maybe, yeah. I didn't think about that, but probably. Yeah. But he was... The whole movie was pretty good. I actually feel like this is the first movie that really sets up a lot of like the Infinity Stone stuff, you know? Like, granted, they all have that to it, but this one has like these little Easter eggs that like seem to pop up in Endgame, or like little nods or clues to the other movies.
Like what?
Like, I don't know. Like, well, Tony Stark says Endgame in this one, right? And apparently that's where they got the title for Endgame, was from this movie, because he says it. But like, Vision is born in this movie, and I feel like Vision kind of represents the whole second half of like the Marvel movies, you know?
Agreed.
Like
because
the ones
that's
that are
when
more,
the stones really come to life.
Yeah, they're like more like interconnected and stuff. I like Vision a lot. I think he's really cool.
Me too.
He's one of those characters where like I feel like they could have done that character so wrong as far as like how he's designed, but I'm so glad that he has like a cape and like a fucking jewel in his head, and he just looks so wacky. Like, that's so cool to me. Like, I don't know, like, you know how like Hawkeye and Black Widow kind of just look like regular people? I've always hated that. Like, Hawkeye especially, I'm just like fucking, yeah, what is this guy? Like, he's just like a regular dude. I don't know. But Vision is where they got it right with that. And it's funny too, because like when he first is born, essentially, from like Thor's hammer hitting that fucking thing that he's in, and he pops out, he like looks at Thor, and he looks at Thor's cape, and he like materializes one.
Right.
So it's like they gave meaning to his cape. It's not just like a weird, stupid like thing that exists for no reason. You know, like it was almost like, oh, this guy's got a cape. This looks pretty cool. Maybe I should use this to blend in with people or something. I don't know. It's just.
And then when he picks up the hammer, everybody's like,
oh! Oh, yeah. That is so great. That's such a great payoff to that.
That was, again, like you're saying, now that I'm thinking about it, there's that great moment. I mean, it's been a year now since Endgame came out, so spoilers if you haven't watched
Everyone
that.
knows what it is, yeah.
It set up this movie set up Cap holding, or being able to pick up the hammer.
Yeah.
This is where they set it up.
They fucking I should say the true payoff to that is in fucking Endgame. So that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like, what a setup, right?
Exactly.
You know,
like,
so crazy?
People explain away the fact that Vision has it because he's not a person; he's a machine.
Yeah.
And they're like, he can pick it up. He's a machine, not a person. I was like, oh, okay, cool. But it kind of
I think the nerdy answer to that is that, like, since he was born of Thor's lightning, he's like a byproduct of him.
That's a good one.
You know, so like,
could be it.
Take that for what it will. You know what's so funny though is like, you know, MCU Marvel is like played out. A lot of people are tired of it. Whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they could set up that kind of universe and have people understand the rules of comic books, like the general public, is fucking amazing to me. Because like, when our sister, when she watched Endgame, and she saw like Captain America pick up the hammer, I was just like, oh, do you know why he can do that? And she was just like, oh, he's worthy. And I was like, how fucking mind-blowing is that, dude? Like our sister doesn't give a shit about comic books or like sci-fi or anything, but to have her just be able to understand that is like so crazy to me. Don't you think?
I know,
like,
isn't it crazy?
Like what a testament to all the groundwork they laid for fucking like 20 or 10 years or whatever the fuck it was. Like, that's like just so crazy to me. Like, I love it. I love when, like, there's something to be said about something that you can enjoy with your whole family. You know, like, I don't know.
Totally. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't this like the first movie that was maybe not produced exclusively or wasn't under the guise of Disney, but I know that Disney was involved in making it. I think this is around that time where they changed over, isn't it?
I think it was, because I remember people making the correlation between like Ultron and Pinocchio at that point, because they're like, oh, he says no strings on me.
Yeah, and they explained it out pretty well, because like supposedly Ultron is not only the combined knowledge of whatever the internet's on, but Jarvis and all this other stuff all stacked together. So he's like, he just got that because he knows everything. You know, he got it randomly or whatever.
He's like Tony Stark
Well, yeah, that's Tony Stark, Jarvis, and whatever else.
Well, like, Jarvis is Vision technically, because at the beginning of the movie,
but like, they explain that too in Endgame. They say you're a combination of Tony, Bruce Banner, Ultron, and the Stone. Like, it's a layered thing to create Vision, which is why he's so strong.
He's actually a kind of a cool character. Like, once you really like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, maybe like, because when this movie first came out in theaters, I remember too, like, forgetting a lot about it, like thinking that Ultron was forgettable. But like watching it now, I'm like, you can really see a lot of Tony in him, because he throws like temper tantrums. He has like little quips, kind of like Tony, which is strange to come out of a robot, but it makes sense when you think about it in that kind of whatever.
Yeah,
like,
and he has big daddy issues, which Tony is completely known for.
Yeah, exactly. Because when they mention, they're like, "Oh, you're one of Stark's." He's just like, "Don't mention Stark. Yeah. He didn't create me, or he didn't fucking like whatever."
Which is
yeah. It's it's funny too. Is he's voiced by James Spader.
Why is that funny?
Because the last thing I saw him in was in The Office, and he plays Robert California.
Oh, that's him?
Yeah, and it's funny. It's funny just for me to think of that character, Robert California, like being in an Avengers movie. That's
actually really funny. I like that. I actually like that a lot.
Yeah, but anyway. Speaking of No Strings on Me, I watched a little movie called Pinocchio.
That's a nice segue.
Yeah, I watched Pinocchio and I watched Dumbo back to back. And
why are you saying it like that?
What?
Pinocchio?
I like saying it like that. Those movies have like a...
I don't have an opinion on that.
Alexa, stop. What? Dude, she's turning full Jarvis on me, dude.
I've gone ahead and ordered Ultron 2 and added it to your shopping.
No! I've ordered Vitamin Water Zero 60 pack, heading to your house right now. No!
Ordered 50 Tide Pods to your house now.
Oh no, dinner for two. What was I talking about? Pinocchio.
Pinocchio.
Dude, those old Disney movies. If you're an animator, you should go back and watch those. Honestly, those movies have the spirit of like new Pixar shorts. You know, I guess I shouldn't say new. But, like, you know how the Pixar shorts always have that kind of... They have that spirit of animation in them, where they don't need audio or, like, dialogue. They just need visual cues. They just need cute characters doing something interesting by themselves, you know?
Some sort of tragedy in the very beginning.
Not even that. I'm saying, like, Pixar, like, short films, not the actual Pixar film.
Gotcha, yeah.
Yeah. Because, like... So I put it on and my niece and nephew were watching it. And the first, like, 10, 15 minutes of Pinocchio are Figaro the cat dancing or, like, doing, like, funny stuff while Geppetto is, like, puppeteering, like, these things around. And it's just, like, there's, honestly, like, there's... I'm honestly surprised anytime children will sit and watch something, right?
Right.
But, like, to see them enthralled by just... fucking like animation is so crazy to me, you know? And this is like good stuff. Like,
it's fantastic.
Pinocchio's walk cycle is like people study that shit because it's just so bouncy and like the way he swings low and like jumps up high. It's like it's so masterful, like the way it's done.
It's great because when they went to animate, what do you call him, Pinocchio?
Pinocchio, yeah.
The great thing about him is that his legs and arms and all that stuff is really square. So you clearly can tell what's in the light and what's away from the light, which those reference for animators. Like, you draw people in like these boxes when you start to do figure drawing. So it was like these animators were like, let's do Pinocchio because we could just draw the boxes and leave them there.
Oh yeah.
But it's so crazy how this really boxy puppet, it's made of wood, but they decided to animate him so they made him float so much.
Yeah,
it's crazy how
character
he flows.
Really good. That type of like era of Disney, I love like a lot of the character designs. They look like really, I don't even know how to put it. Like, I guess that's considered the golden age, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever of animation or something.
Yeah.
I love that style. That style is so great.
I think it lasted all the way up to like the 90s, 91 or something like that. I don't know.
That movie is also sad. That movie's fucking sad. But there's also like that movie has a lot of scenes that just really showcase what the animators could do, and it's so awesome. And it's crazy because that movie was apparently a flop.
Yeah.
Pinocchio and Bambi were like flops,
mm-hmm.
and apparently Walt Disney like got like a real like he got a real limp dick after that. He like didn't want to do animation, story. He didn't want to do story writing for stuff. But what came to the rescue was a little elephant with a big heart. Huh?
Big
you
ears.
Like that?
Oh,
yeah.
You saw that?
You want to talk about a movie that doesn't use dialogue to convey emotion? Dumbo is completely silent the whole movie.
Well, yeah.
Dumbo does not talk,
but not the entire.
He
movie.
does not talk the whole fucking dude. That movie is also like so like, it's crazy too because I read that like this whole fucking thread about it right after I watched it, and all they talk about is how Walt wasn't involved in this project
at all.
They had to do everything. They had to do everything so fucking cheap because like a lot of those animators left the studio after this movie. It was basically their B team. A team was working on something else. This was their B team, and they were like pushing their limits, trying to do everything on the cheap and trying to just basically.
They were trying to be the A team.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, it's like it's a lot to go over, but
it's a short movie too.
The movie's only 40 minutes, which was like one of the whole things about it being cheap.
Yeah.
There's a lot of scenes that aren't like, I guess you would say they weren't as animated as well as they could have been.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have that Disney polish to them. They're done a little like, you know, like a lot of people bring up the scene where he's flying over something and it's just his shadow for a long time.
Yeah, but
it's like
I mean, people don't realize that shadow still had to be animated.
Yeah, I mean,
but it just kind of went over a background. I'll tell you where they saved a lot of money, Steve. Saved a lot of money on the pink elephant. Like that thing is like 5 minutes long, I think, and they saved so much money because think about it, no backgrounds. It's all the pure animation and a black background.
Yeah,
I mean, damn, they saved a lot of money on that. And it has nothing. It really doesn't have anything to do with the movie.
There was apparently a lot of scenes that were like storyboards that were like nice enough to be like, hey, just paint over this, just make this the background, or like just So there was a lot of that going on, but
you know what's funny is that you mentioned two movies that Disney would never do again because they prominently illustrate drinking and smoking.
Well, that one has a lot of racist context to it too.
Yes.
So, like everyone brings up the crows, which I mean they are stereotypical, but to be fair, the animators like use references of black characters that were dancing and stuff. Like they brought in these famous people. I think they're called the Nicholas brothers. They were like these dancers that were really famous at the time, and they referenced their moves. And it looks really cool to see it side by side. But another thing that's really strange about the movie is like at the beginning of the movie they show black people, and they're working on building the circus.
Yeah.
And they don't have faces, which is really strange.
Well, again, they were trying to save money.
I guess so. And you know what's crazy too is like so they show all the black people all hitting this like stake into the ground, taking a turn. You know how they do?
Yeah.
Like it's like a circle of hammers like striking this one stake into the ground.
Right.
And then they contrast that with the elephants doing the same thing, and I was like, whoa, dude, are they like straight up saying like the circus is like they're like slave owners? Like these creatures are like
the way I took it as a kid, and even now the way I see it is that they're saying that in the circus everybody has like 4 jobs. So not only are the elephants performers, but they also help set up. Like, this is a big family, and they all work to get this up. Because if you think about what's happening at the time, they got to get that tent up, or else they don't sleep in a tent. Because it was raining, and it's, like, pouring down. So if they don't set up the tent, nobody gets to sleep. So everybody's in, you know?
Right.
That's at least how I took it.
I would recommend those two movies.
The Pinocchio and the Dumbos.
Yeah, they're pretty short, and Dumbo's design is really cute. Dumbo's design is like, I grew to appreciate it more after I watched the movie, because, like, I had seen Dumbo before, like, as a kid, but, like, there's a lot of these Disney classics that I haven't gone back to, because I just feel like I remember them so well, but they're definitely worth going back to. Like, I was pretty surprised at how much I enjoyed it, so...
Well, I'll tell you what, Steve, I recommend this for next week, so you can come back and report back to us. You watch that new Dumbo, because I think it's on Disney Plus, right?
No. Uh-huh.
I mean, it's got the DeVites in it. You know how we feel about the DeVites.
I'm not watching that crap, dude.
If you or we could watch an old school movie that I remember seeing it as a kid, but don't remember it in any capacity. It's Oliver and Company, because that's another one that's considered to be not one of the big hits.
Okay.
But, you know, we should definitely watch some old school movies, report back on those.
Wait, Oliver and Company is Disney?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
I think I saw it on Disney Plus.
Oh, okay. All right.
So go back and watch that.
You know what I was thinking? Like,
it's got Cheech Marin in it.
They have all these old Disney movies, and I'm talking about, like, old, like, fucking 80s, 70s fucking Disney live-action movies.
Oh, yeah. I watched The Parent Trap recently.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, which one of these can I watch? Like, which one's good? Because I'm pretty sure they're all, like, stinkers. But there's got to be, like, one or two that's, like, fucking, like, still decent, right? Like,
so there's That Darn Cat.
Okay, thank you for that title.
There's two of them. Actually, I think there's three of them in total. One of them has Christina Ricci in it. Ricci or whatever her name is. You know what? I will fully recommend The Parent Trap, the old school one.
Okay.
Because that one was done in the same way the Lindsay Lohan was done, where it's one actress playing two roles.
Oh,
but it's done way back then, so they didn't have all the... I mean, I don't know how prevalent green screen was. So it's like, oh, wow, whatever. And it was good.
Twins, but they did not. Yeah, that's cool.
But it's good, man. Right. Like, I watched it recently, and I was like, wow, this kind of holds up. So, you know.
You know what's funny? I didn't know that Homeward Bound was a remake. Did you know that?
I did not know that. That's another one that's on there, because it's The Amazing Journey.
Yeah, The Unexpected Journey.
The Unexpected
Journey. I
saw
that on there,
yeah.
And I was like, wait. I was like, that looks just like Homeward Bound. The animals look the same. Turns out Homeward Bound is the title of the reboot or whatever, so...
Yeah, and that's the only one I remember, because I remember the big name on that movie was Michael J. Fox.
Yeah. Nobody gives a shit about the other two guys.
I think
one of them's a girl.
But, I think... Is that Roseanne? No, right? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. She did Look Who's Talking, right? Look Who's Talking 2? Wasn't that her?
Did you mean Rosie O'Donnell?
Oh, maybe that's who I meant. I don't know. I can't remember right now. Don't judge me.
Dude, to think about, like, Rosie O'Donnell when she ruled the world, dude. She was so big at one point.
She was in Tarzan.
She was in Tarzan, dude. She had her own show. Remember?
Oh, yeah. She had the Rosie O'Donnell show.
She was like the first Ellen, before Ellen.
She was in a movie that I remember watching a lot, too. I think it was called Then and Now, or whatever, where they talk, like, it's kind of like The Sandlot, where this guy's telling a story about that one summer, that great summer, but it's like these four ladies get together to talk about what happened that one big summer. It's a cool movie, and it has Rosie O'Donnell in it, I believe.
Okay.
But a great...
Everyone knew she was gay, too. That was...
Really?
That was a big thing. I'm sure they did, dude. Like, when she came out, I don't think anybody was surprised. Everybody was like, okay. Because we didn't know that. I think actually her character in Tarzan is a boy.
Is it?
Right?
I don't know.
That little the little monkey.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time a woman played a guy.
I guess not. Yeah.
Yeah, Ash Ketchum is on true, Pokemon was
Bobby Hill, Pamela Adlon. So
yeah, exactly. Like all these ladies, Bart Simpson is voiced by a woman.
Oh yeah,
like
Nancy Cartwright. Yeah,
exactly. No, so it's not like if it was supposed to be a guy or girl, they never really. I don't think they ever really nailed the gender of that ape down. So I don't even because it didn't really matter.
I know this is so off topic. This will be the last thing. I know we're getting pretty.
We're getting really good
over time.
Yeah.
I'm like in like one of the most recent seasons of The Simpsons now because I've been watching them.
Oh my gosh! Why do you torture yourself with these?
I mean, it's just TV. It's like I leave it on, and I draw. I don't even pay attention most of the time, but there was a fucking couch gag with Rick and Morty, dude. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did see that because
dude,
at the same if I remember correctly, they crash into the Simpsons, and then Morty has to redo them, right? So with
I don't know. I saw like a little bit of it, and I was like, what the.
Okay, so this is what I remember. They crash into the Simpsons.
I skipped the intro. So
okay, I'm going to tell you real quick. They crash into the Simpsons. They fuck them up. He scoops them up. He takes them to an alien planet, like a Kinko's, where they redo them.
Long.
Huh? Oh, it's like a minute. It's like a minute long.
Oh, okay.
And they come back, and then they put them back where they were, and then they take off in their spaceship.
Oh, okay.
It's long. Man. I was surprised when I saw it.
I saw them because I was going to sleep, and I saw them I heard the voices, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I turned around in my bed and I looked at the TV, and I was like, "Oh, it's fucking them," and I went back to sleep, but I was just like, "Oh, it's fuck!" Them. That must have been 2 years ago at the fucking or when did that show come out? I'm getting pretty close. Is my point? I'm getting pretty close to the fucking
Rick and Morty,
the newer one. Yeah,
I mean they went on a pretty big hiatus. Remember, they took they took a whole year off. Yeah. So, I mean they've had 4 seasons.
They got
I guess 5 years ago.
3, though. Yeah, they got popular during season 3 though, right? That was the height of their popularity.
I want to say the first season was a hit because I remember people talking. But if you think about it, when they first came out, they probably were real popular with their animation buddies.
When did Pickle Rick come out?
Oh my god, that's season 2. Exploded. Yeah, that's season 2.
Oh, it's season 2. Okay, never mind. Maybe season 2 is when it got popular.
Oh, you know what? No, season 3. I remember now. Season 3.
I remember. Yeah, I remember.
Season 3. Pickle Rick.
Season 3 nonstop. Pickle Rick, great joke. Love it so much.
Pickle Rick is what split the fandom.
To me, in all fairness, dude, it's I know the show's good. I watched the first season and we thought it was really funny.
Yeah.
But it just got to the point where that show was like a meme, and it's not like I wouldn't watch it now. I just have no way of watching it.
You got ways, Steve.
I don't have ways of watching it, well. It's if I I could search it on YouTube and watch a jank
No, I think I'm not gonna promise it, but if they got a Adult Swim app on Apple TV, so you can watch episodes because you just put in your DirecTV code on it. If you know somebody with cable,
I don't have TV. Yeah, it's I would have to. I don't want to do that. I've been trying to watch Beef House.
That's how you would watch Beef House.
And I've only been able to watch the first 2 episodes, which I thought was pretty funny. Because I love Tim and Eric, so I mean that goes without saying. I love them, and it's gonna be great. I'm gonna enjoy myself either way when it comes to Tim and Eric.
Remind me next podcast to tell you about my experience before quarantine started. The weekend before, I went to go see Tim and Eric live. And I gotta regale you guys with that because it was an experience.
That's right. Well, I think we've ranted long enough.
It's a good rant though.
Yeah, we'll be back next week. No problem there. You guys will get more of us ranting. all the stuff you've come to love from this show. Rants
and Pinocchio.
And Pinocchio. What's Pinocchio? Well, anyway, that does it for this week, guys. We will see you guys next week.
See you next week, guys.